everybody. Welcome back to Modern Class and Chaos. I am really sorry that I missed you last week, but it was a really busy couple weeks. And the main thing I wanted to talk with you about today, my amazing colleagues and I were able to put on a in-person, in our school, on our stage, spring musical. It was a really beautiful and incredible experience that from, January, we really didn't know if we were going to be able to accomplish, but we did, and we fought for this for the kids. I mean, we really didn't have to fight for it. I should say we advocated, and our administration was so supportive. We followed, of course, all of the COVID mitigations. The students were masked. It was a small cast of 18. We had a beautiful tech crew. Our orchestra actually played live from the orchestra room, and we live streamed them into the theater and live streamed their sound in. Had our amazing orchestra director on a video screen for the kids to follow. Funny thing with that, I think it was the Saturday dress rehearsal before the week of the show, which of course the show closed last night. And one of my amazing singers, who I know is a great counter, was not getting her cue. And I'm like, something is got to be happening. Maybe our conductor's not giving her a good prep. I don't know what. So I'm like, I'm going to come up on stage. Let me see what's going on. We discovered, now this was about 3 or 4 rehearsals into working with the orchestra. We'd already had our sits probes. We'd already sung through everything. Very successful. And I'm watching the screen and I'm like, no, wait, do it again. And I watched and I'm like, one more time. And we discovered that for some reason, there was a visual delay with the conductor. So what we were hearing and what we were seeing, the conductor was about, and unfortunately, not even a full beat of a delay, like 3/4 of a beat. Needless to say, what we eventually had to say was, look, singers, you're not going to be able to really rely on the conductor. You're going to have to know your music. You're going to have to know your entrances. You're going to have to know. You're going to have to do this blind, because that's a nightmare. The kids were just absolutely impeccable. We auditioned in late January. The theatrical directors had mostly Zoom rehearsals for the month of February. I started with the music on March 1st. Had about 7 in-person hour-long rehearsals, and the rest was on the kids. Hey, you've got to learn all this. You don't need me to learn your pitches and your rhythms. So get to work, and when you see me, you better know it. And that's kind of always, even pre-COVID, that's always been our system. The students get their music. They are to learn their music. And then when they come to me for rehearsal, we should be able to rehearse. I should be able to work on nuance and placement and, hey, try this there, not, hey, here's your note. So the kids were unbelievably professional, unbelievably disciplined, and from being in the theater for just 2 weeks prior to show week, being live and together for only 2 weeks, we did a full scale, full orchestra, full tech, beautiful wardrobe, production of Little Women. We didn't do wardrobe changes. We didn't do any costume changes for basically for COVID reasons. We thought that that would be a safety thing. We didn't want kids in the dressing rooms. We didn't want, obviously, them crowding, and we wanted them to maintain social distance as whenever they were off the stage. But I am so proud of our, if I go micro to macro, of our students, of myself and my colleagues, of our school and our administration, hearing our vision, supporting our vision, being able to see through the process with us, and know that it would be a safe process. It would be just, magnificent for the kids. And if I'm being honest, it was magnificent for me and my spirit, to hear live singers again, to actually hear and be able to fix, to manipulate, to help through vocal things, and to then be in a performance and be in a theater with other humans, and hear applause in real time. We haven't had that for almost a year and a half, and I likened it to being a plant that hasn't been fed or watered. It's not dead yet, but it's completely liltless, lifeless, and being in that space, doing our warm-ups, hearing the applause, it was like being a plant that got watered, sunshine, plant food, and we sprung back to life. It was incredible. The hard part was, the musical is typically a culmination of our year. It's an extension of our classrooms, right? So for me, it's an extension of my choir room. It's an extension of our acting program. It's an extension of our orchestra and band programs. And when it's, in April, which is near the end of our educational year, we've had a year of development. We've had a year of technique, of breath management, of placement work, of diction, of projection. And this year I was very fearful putting this musical on the stage, because we haven't developed in the way that we normally do. Because I've been running rehearsals all year through a computer screen and hearing nothing but silence come back to me. So I haven't gotten to develop my singers in the way that I normally do. And I was really afraid that that was going to be particularly evident on the stage. There were moments where it was like, oh man, we missed working on that particular skill this year, or oh, we're a little out of shape. But for the most part, y'all, it was like these kids hadn't skipped a beat. And pride is not even a big enough word to describe what I feel about these amazing young artists. What I wanted to talk to you today about, here at Modern Class and Chaos is something that, for those of you that are educators or even parents or even need to hear this yourself, I know that I needed to hear it and needed a reminder, particularly for an opportunity in my life right now. And, you know, obviously watching this musical for the last 3 nights. And once we get to performance, the directors and I, we stop taking notes. We stop fixing. We kind of, you know, we sit and we enjoy instead of, oh, you know what, we got to fix that note. It's still not right. Like we don't, you know, sit and really, you know, take notes or try to shape it anymore. We let it be what it is once we get to opening night, and let the developments come through what the kids discover, and as they gain their confidence with each performance and as they gain their momentum. And so yeah, we just sit and enjoy. And so when you do that as a director, you know, when you're watching rehearsal and you're kind of not, you know, rehearsals for me, I don't know about many of you, but rehearsals for me are always very micro. And I am very focused on the trees instead of the forest, right? And then from those micro, I work out and I work backwards. And okay, the forest comes together when all of the trees are planted properly and all the trees are tended to, and all of those minute details. So I'm very, I get a little, sometimes I get a little too caught up in the minutia, but I kind of miss out on some of the big picture stuff, right? So I don't know about you, but the book Little Women was something that I read, you know, long before I could really grasp the material. I read it as a young girl. I know I still lived with my mom. So before age 11, I read Little Women. And I remember always being confused by the character Lori. You know, and you know, these obviously, like, before its time even, gender bending names, right? So Joe's a girl, but Lori is a boy. Like, I remember like really struggling with that when I read the book, and I was like, wait, okay, Joe and Lori love each other. Okay, like, I just remember really working hard to keep it straight. And I'll be honest, I have attempted several times to get through Anna Karenina, and I simply can't, because the names, there's just too damn many characters in Anna Karenina, and it's too confusing. And I even read it with a bookmark that had all the characters so I could keep them straight. Nope, not going to attempt that one again. I'm just going to admit defeat. Anna Karenina is not for me. Anyway, so, you know, when Little Women hit Broadway several years ago with the amazing Sutton Foster, the music was just exquisite. And it is really, the directors and I were discussing this last night, it's really a well-written piece, the musical. They really took the spirit of the novel and this amazing woman, Louisa May Alcott, who we see in the character of Jo, and her feminism and her self-awareness is just it's inspirational. The book was written in 1868, and here was this woman who was unapologetic about who and what she wanted to be, and unapologetic about her dreams for herself and her future. And I think too often, as not just women, but humans in general, we are always not, that's wrong, I'm saying that wrong. We are often afraid to admit our dreams and what we long for ourselves, what we desire. The little sister, Amy, same. She admits immediately, hey, listen, I want nice things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay, I'm paraphrasing now. That's my voice. Gosh, when I was little, that's all I wanted. I wanted nice things. I don't know why. I just knew I wanted to live a life where I had nice things, where I drove a nice car. I lived in a nice, comfortable home. I could wear beautiful clothes and beautiful shoes and have pretty hair and pretty makeup and pretty fingernails and jewelry. I desired those things too. And, watching this musical these last few nights just kind of brought that part of me to the surface. I achieved that. I have nice things. I get to surround myself with beauty and pretty things and pretty baubles and get my hair done and get my nails done and lashes and lipsticks and beautiful shoes and purses and jewelry, and to feel like I have permission to not feel bad about that desire, that want, that need for pretty things. Like the March girls, when I was little, I didn't have any of those things. I didn't have that. I didn't know if fine things were possible. Other people seemed to have them. Why not me? And I was always extremely envious. I became very familiar with the feeling of envy and wanting a life that looked so different from the one I was living, the one I was forced to live, the one I was, the mother I was dropped into, the situation I was placed in through no fault of my own other than, well, these are the people I belong to. So this is it. I think that this desire in me is definitely stems from that youth of lack. And so this is how it manifested for me. This is one of my strategies to, I think, and I've worked through this a little bit in therapy, but I think it just needs more deep dive. I often need more and more and more of those fine things, of those nice things. Like there's never a saturation point. There's never a satisfaction for me that lasts for very long. So it's, I need the next pretty thing, and what's the next pretty thing, and what's the next pair of shoes, and what's the next jewelry, and it is something that I think can, and for me at many times in my life has gotten out of control. Shopping to soothe, shopping to heal, shopping to numb. I never went the route of drugs or alcohol for any of those things. But, you know, shopping can become excessive and wasteful, and it's, you know, something that this musical kind of brought to life in me. Like, I've always kind of been trying to get to the core of why I often don't feel like I have enough. I may continue to delve into that with you and talk it through here, and hope for some of your feedback or comments on that. But the main point I wanted to bring to you today about this beautiful show is that while Amy wanted nice things, wanted a place in society, wanted to feel valued, on the flip side was, well, not really flip side, but was Jo and her desire to be famous, to be a famous writer, to write great stories, to sell them, to make tons of money, to give herself and her family everything that they ever desired. And she worked at it tirelessly. And as it turned out, the very story of her life is what brought her fame and fortune. And as a woman in 1868, she was not afraid to say, I don't need to get married. I don't need a man to make me feel whole or valued. I want to have a career. I want to make money so that my family wants for nothing. I want to be famous, to be somebody. Is an extraordinary reminder that we are all entitled. You know I hate that word, but this is different. We're all entitled to the possibility to be somebody, to be famous, or to be rich, or to be loved, or to have a family, or to not have a family, to reach people in a million ways, to be a TikTok star, to, you know, be an influencer. I think if my child came to me and said, you know, I want to be a famous TikTok star as my career, I would have pause, right? And I think every, especially Gen Xer, would be a little, you know, I'm sorry, you want to do what? But if I'm being honest with you, there are gazillions of people out there doing just that. They've been able to monetize content through their creativity, through their dedication to this craft, and have wealth far beyond, you know, what I'm able to make as a fantastic choir director, if I do say so myself. So to that, to my students, to anybody out there, you know, to myself, a reminder that, you know what? Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about your dreams. You're entitled to them. You're entitled to live a big life. it does no one any good to shrink, to step back, and not put yourself first. So if we learn anything from those amazing March sisters, and their incredible mother who held it all together while her husband was off at war, it's okay to want. It's okay to be big. And I hope that this little reminder helps you remember to be the biggest you can be, to have full confidence in all of your dreams, and go for them with gusto and fervor and everything that you have. Full disclosure, it is not my goal in life or dream in life to be a famous YouTube star or anything like that, but I do have the desire to write a book. And now I've kind of been note-taking and doing a little work on 2 different books. It might take me another decade. My pace is slow. I do have a very demanding full-time job, and a husband, and a beautiful stepdaughter that we are seeing through the end of her college career here, and getting so excited for her to start her adult life. And also I have amazing, amazing friends that I want to spend as much time with as possible. So I'm a little busy, but just gonna put that out there in the universe. I would love to, very much like Miss Jo March, I would love to be a famous writer. I've never studied writing, just like doing it. So yeah, just putting that out in the universe, and doing it unapologetically, sharing it with all of you. And I would love to hear from you, and what are your big dreams? What's that big desire in you? Anyway, I can't wait to see you again next time. Thanks for sharing this time with me, and for coming back to Modern Class and Chaos, and letting me rant and rave a little bit and work through the things that are going on in my brain on any given Sunday. It's usually when I create my videos and then post them for you on Monday. So it is in fact Sunday afternoon, and when you see this, it will be Monday, and I hope you're having a great one, and I can't wait to see you next time. All my love to you. Have a great day.